He grew up with an empty stomach, a broken roof, and a dream nobody believed in, until one night a poor Filipino teenager from Cebu stepped onto the Britain's Got Talent stage and delivered a single note so powerful that it froze the judges, silenced the audience, and changed his life forever. Before this story unfolds and before you hear how one voice shocked the world and earned the golden buzzer, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because stories like this prove that miracles are still real. In the narrow streets of Cebu, where the smell of saltwater mixed with dust and sweat, there lived a boy most people never noticed. His name was Miguel. He did not have fancy clothes, a smartphone, or a bedroom of his own. His house was a small wooden shack patched together with scrap metal and old tarpaulins, standing on land that technically did not belong to them. When it rained, water leaked through the roof and soaked the floor. When storms came, his family prayed the walls would still be standing by morning. Hunger was a familiar feeling, not a temporary problem but a regular part of life. Miguel's father had once been a fisherman, but years of bad weather and declining catches had broken both his income and his spirit. An injury to his leg meant he could no longer go out to sea. His mother washed clothes for neighbors when work was available, earning just enough to buy rice for the day. School was a luxury Miguel almost lost many times. There were weeks when he had to choose between attending class or helping his mother find odd jobs so they could eat. Many nights he went to bed with nothing but water in his stomach. But there was something unusual about Miguel. When he sang, the world around him seemed to pause. His voice had been with him since childhood, echoing softly through the narrow alleys of Cebu as he sang while carrying water buckets or helping his mother scrub clothes. He never had lessons. He never owned a microphone. He never stood on a stage. His only audience was the neighborhood, people who sometimes stopped walking just to listen, surprised that such a powerful sound could come from such a small, quiet boy. Miguel sang to escape hunger. He sang to forget the shame of wearing worn-out shoes to school. He sang when his father sat silently staring at the floor, defeated by life. Music was the one thing that made him feel bigger than his circumstances. But dreams are dangerous when you are poor. People around him often said singing would not put food on the table. Teachers encouraged him to be realistic. Neighbors warned him not to dream too big. Even Miguel himself sometimes wondered if his voice was just another false hope. The first major twist in his life came when a local charity organized a small community talent show. The prize was modest, just enough money to buy groceries for a week. Miguel almost did not sign up. He did not own proper clothes, and the idea of standing in front of people terrified him. But his mother insisted. She told him that even if he lost, at least he would have tried. That night, Miguel sang with everything he had. His voice cracked with emotion, raw and honest. The room fell silent. People cried. He won first place. That small victory changed something inside him. For the first time, Miguel allowed himself to believe that his voice might actually matter. Videos of his performance were recorded on old phones and shared on social media. The quality was poor, but the emotion was undeniable. Slowly, comments began appearing. Some praised him. Others doubted him. A few suggested he audition for bigger shows. Britain's Got Talent was mentioned as a joke at first. It felt impossible. Traveling to another country was beyond imagination for a family that struggled to afford food. Then came another twist. A foreign volunteer who worked with the charity saw the video and was deeply moved. She believed Miguel's voice deserved a global stage. She helped submit his audition online, without telling him. Weeks passed, and Miguel forgot about it. Life continued with the same struggles. Then one day, an email arrived. Miguel had been shortlisted for an audition for Britain's Got Talent. The news felt unreal. Excitement quickly turned into fear. How could they afford travel? What if he embarrassed himself? What if the judges laughed? His father was against it at first. He believed the world was cruel, especially to the poor. But Miguel's mother stood firm. She reminded her husband that their son already lived with disappointment every day. At least this time, disappointment would come with hope. With the help of donations and sponsors who saw potential in Miguel's story, the impossible slowly became possible. For the first time in his life, Miguel boarded an airplane. He pressed his face against the window, watching Cebu disappear below him. He was leaving everything he had ever known, carrying nothing but his voice and the weight of his family's expectations. Arriving in Britain was overwhelming. The cold air, the tall buildings, the unfamiliar faces, everything felt foreign. At the audition venue, Miguel stood among confident performers with expensive outfits and professional managers. He felt small again. Doubt crept back in. He considered leaving before his name was called. But then he remembered his mother's tired hands, his father's silent disappointment, and the nights he sang to forget hunger. He stayed. When Miguel finally walked onto the Britain's Got Talent stage, the audience barely noticed him at first. A skinny teenager with simple clothes and nervous eyes did not look like a star. The judges asked him about his background. When he spoke about Cebu, about poverty, about singing to survive, some smiled politely, others looked skeptical. Simon Cowell leaned back, arms crossed, clearly unconvinced. The room was heavy with uncertainty. Then Miguel began to sing. The first note changed everything. The sound that came out of him was rich, powerful, and filled with pain and hope all at once. It did not sound trained, but it sounded real. The audience leaned forward. Whispers stopped. Simon's expression shifted from doubt to curiosity. As Miguel continued, his voice grew stronger, soaring through the theater, carrying the story of every hungry night and every broken dream he had survived. Halfway through the song, people began to cry. The judges exchanged looks of disbelief. This was not just a good performance. This was something rare, something honest. When Miguel reached the final note, he closed his eyes, pouring every ounce of emotion into his voice. The silence that followed was deafening. Then the audience exploded into applause. The judges stood up. One of them wiped tears from their eyes. Simon Cowell, known for his harsh criticism, looked genuinely moved. He spoke about how voices like Miguel's come once in a generation. He admitted he had misjudged him. The moment felt unreal, like a dream Miguel was afraid to wake up from. Then came the biggest twist of all. One of the judges reached for the golden buzzer. As it was pressed, golden confetti rained down from the ceiling. The crowd screamed. Miguel stood frozen, unable to process what was happening. He had seen this moment on TV before, but never imagined it would happen to him. Tears streamed down his face as he fell to his knees, overwhelmed by emotion. A poor boy from Cebu had just earned a direct spot in the live shows of Britain's Got Talent. Backstage, Miguel called his parents. His mother cried uncontrollably. His father, who had once doubted the dream, could barely speak. For the first time, Miguel felt that his voice had not only changed his life, but had given his family hope. The story did not end there. After the episode aired, Miguel's performance went viral around the world. Millions watched. Celebrities reacted. Donations poured in. People from different countries sent messages saying his voice gave them goosebumps. But fame also brought pressure. Expectations grew heavier. Critics appeared. Some questioned whether he deserved the golden buzzer. Others tried to tear him down. Miguel struggled with anxiety. He feared disappointing the people who believed in him. During rehearsals, his voice cracked from stress. There were moments he wanted to quit. Another twist came when he lost his voice temporarily just days before the live show. Doctors warned him to rest completely. Panic set in. Everything he had worked for seemed about to disappear. But Miguel did what he had always done. He believed. He rested, prayed, and reminded himself why he started singing in the first place. On the night of the live show, his voice returned, fragile but strong enough. He stepped onto the stage once again, not as a poor boy from Cebu, but as a symbol of hope. He sang better than ever. Win or lose, Miguel had already silenced the world with his voice. He proved that talent knows no borders, and that dreams born in poverty can reach global stages. His journey inspired millions, not because he became famous, but because he never gave up when giving up would have been easier. And somewhere in Cebu, a small wooden house no longer leaks when it rains, a family eats without fear, and a boy who once sang to escape hunger now sings to remind the world that miracles can come from the most unexpected places.